never thought I'd make it past 21. The world I grew up in, it didn't allow for retirement plans or growing old in a quiet house by the lake. It was all about power, loyalty, and fear. And if you weren't the one giving orders, you were just another pawn waiting to be sacrificed. For almost a decade, I was in the inner circle of one of the most feared men in the city. I had power, money, and respect. Until the very people I trusted turned on me. Now, I live under a different name, a different life. And yet every time I close my eyes, I still hear the voice of the man I once called boss. "You should have stayed in your lane, kid." That was the last thing he said before ordering my execution. I was 16 when I got pulled into the life. Just a kid from Brooklyn, no father, a mother working 2 jobs just to keep the heat on in winter. I didn't want to be a gangster, I just wanted a way out. That way out came in the form of Vinny Two Hands, a local enforcer who worked for Salvatore Morello, better known as Uncle Sal. Everyone called him Uncle because he wasn't just a boss, he was family. At least that's what he wanted you to believe. I met Vinny after I tried boosting the wrong car, a brand new black Mercedes, parked outside a restaurant, engine still warm. I had done this before, break the window, hotwire, drive off, and sell it to a chop shop for quick cash. Except this time, the moment my fingers touched the door handle, a gun was at my head. "You got some balls, kid," Vinny had said, smirking. He was in his 40s, thick hands covered in gold rings, an unlit cigar hanging from his lips. I thought I was dead, but instead of pulling the trigger, he just laughed. "If you're dumb enough to steal from us, maybe you're dumb enough to be useful." And just like that, I was in. At first, I was just a runner, picking up cash from local businesses, dropping off packages that I never asked questions about. It was easy money, better than flipping burgers or stocking shelves. And more than that, it came with respect. People who used to ignore me suddenly knew my name. Store owners shook my hand with fake smiles. Older guys at the bar gave me nods of approval. I felt important. But the thing about power? It's addictive, and once you get a taste, you want more. By 18, I wasn't just running errands anymore. I was handling problems. If someone missed a payment, I was the guy knocking on their door. At first, it was just threats. A broken window here, a slashed tire there. But soon enough, threats weren't enough. One time, I went to collect from a guy named Ricky. He ran a backroom poker game that owed Sal $5,000. I figured it would be routine. I knocked, he opened the door. I pushed in, told him why I was there. He pulled a knife, cut my forearm open before I could react. I tackled him, beat him until he passed out, grabbed what cash I could find, and left him bleeding on the floor. When I got back, Sal didn't ask how it went. He just looked at the blood on my sleeve and said, "You'll learn." No sympathy. Just a cold reminder that every mistake had a price. One night, Vinny took me along to send a message to a guy who owed Sal $50,000, a nightclub owner who thought he could pay whenever it was convenient for him. I expected Vinny to rough him up, maybe break a finger or two. Instead, he pulled out a ball-peen hammer and smashed the guy's kneecap. The sound still haunts me. When the guy collapsed, screaming, Vinny handed me the hammer. "Your turn!" I didn't want to do it, but when you're standing in a dark room, a man bleeding at your feet, and a gangster watching you with a smirk, you don't say no. So I did it. And when I looked at the blood on my hands, instead of feeling sick, I felt powerful. That was the night I stopped being just another kid from Brooklyn. That was the night I became one of them. By 22, I was Uncle Sal's right-hand man. I had men under me, clubs that paid me protection money, and a reputation that made people whisper my name in the streets. I drove a brand new BMW, wore custom suits, and never had to wait in line at any restaurant. Life was good, but in this world, the moment you start believing you're untouchable is the moment you become a target. It started with whispers. Sal was getting paranoid. He thought there was a rat in the organization. Guys who had been with him for decades were suddenly disappearing. One night, Sal called me into his office. "We got a problem," he said. He slid a photo across the desk. I picked it up and felt my chest tighten. It was Leo, my friend since we were kids. We had grown up together. He had been like a brother to me. "He's talking to the feds," Sal said, his tone cold. I froze. "Take care of it," Sal said. "Tonight." I didn't have a choice. That night I drove to Leo's apartment. He answered the door, half smiling when he saw me. "Hey man," he said. I pulled out the gun and pressed it to his head. "What the fuck?" He froze. Sal knows, I said. You need to leave. You're dead from tonight. His eyes widened. Get out of the city. Don't come back. He hesitated for a second, then nodded. Thank you, he whispered. After he left, I sat in the car outside his building for almost an hour. My hand was still shaking from holding the gun. I kept thinking maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should have done what Sal asked. But Leo had saved my ass more than once growing up. I couldn't kill him. I knew what the cost could be. Sal didn't tolerate hesitation, and mercy wasn't part of our code. I told myself I'd figure it out, that I'd cover it up somehow. But deep down, I knew it was just a matter of time. A few weeks later, Sal started acting differently. I could tell he was suspicious. He called me in one night. Come to the docks, he said. We need to talk. My gut told me something was wrong. But you don't say no to Sal. I showed up. Tony and 3 other guys were waiting. You should have stayed in your lane, kid, Tony said. That's when I knew. Sal had figured out that I let Leo go. Suddenly, gunfire erupted. I hit the ground. I heard shouts, saw flashes of light. Leo appeared with 2 other guys, guns blazing. Get up, Leo yelled. I ran toward them. Leo covered me as I jumped into the car. You saved my life, I said, breathless. You saved mine first, Leo replied. We drove until we hit the state line. After that, I disappeared. New name, new city, new life. Sal is done now. The feds finally got him on racketeering charges. Tony? Last I heard, he got whacked by his own guys. And me? I'm still looking over my shoulder, because in this life, the past never stays buried. People think the Mafia is glamorous, that it's about fast cars, expensive suits, and power. But let me tell you something. Power is nothing if it's built on fear. Loyalty is an illusion, and the moment you start believing you're safe, you're already as good as dead. If I could go back, I would have walked away the day Vinny handed me that hammer. Because once you get blood on your hands, it never really washes off. And trust me, no amount of money is worth that.